Hey folks, welcome to Black Gumbo Southern Gardening. Today we're going to plant some pumpkin pits. Alright, so it's warm out here. Spring is certainly here. It's a pleasant day to work in the garden, and I'm going to go crack open my old pumpkin pits from last year, and we're going to refurbish them with some new compost, and we're going to plant some new pumpkins and a new variety on top. And I'll dig this one out. We need to go down about 2 feet. Maybe you're looking for grubs? This was our pumpkin pit from last year, and we had cucurbita moschata. I think they were moschatas over here. No, these were the maximas, and they didn't do well. The vine borers got to them. So we're planting earlier this year, and we're going to plant in the same hole. What do you find over here, huh? What did you find? Hey, what are you finding over here? These 2 holes were dug last year, and we're just bringing out the dirt and going to put some more nastiness down in the bottom. You looking for those?
Oh,
huh?
Yes.
You going to eat those grubs? Nice
Yes,
little
yeah.
snack, huh?
Protein.
Down here in the compost pile, I have shredded paper. I've got some old mulch, most of the remnants of my cabbages, some beetroot, and some onions that went bad, some lettuce that didn't stack up. Yeah, there's all kinds of goodness down in here, and we're going to put some of this directly into that hole. Trying to get the unfinished stuff. That's good stuff right there. You don't want that to go to waste. We have nasty moldy turkey legs, and the dog wants to get in there. Let's take her inside. So all of this goodness down here is deep enough that the dog's not going to dig it up, and I'm going to fence around it anyway. But once the roots of our squash get down in there and find all this unfinished compost, they're going to really take off and start growing. Last year when the roots got down to this level, my plants went crazy. And so this is a good method that is practiced, has been practiced for centuries. It's just burying your waste in a hole and planting over it. You want to do the honors? Nice. I'll do the stinky turkey leg. There we go. Look at that. So what we'll do is just mound up all this soil right here. Look at that big worm over there. We'll mound all this soil up, and we're going to plant some Seminole pumpkins. I like to cheat a little bit and put a finer medium on top, just so the seeds have good contact with moist soil. And then I'll put a little anti-dog fence around here so we don't get my dog coming in here and sniffing around. This is expired potting mix from last year. I don't need too much. I just want to be able to visibly see the mound, plant right into here, into something that's soft. I have these Seminole pumpkin seeds. These are from last year's crop by a friend in Hawaii, a fellow gardener named Dana, and she sent these to me along with a mystery pumpkin and one other variety. So I'm going to try Seminole pumpkins. These come from the region of Florida where the Seminole Indians used to grow this type, and it was very tolerant of the climate there, and we're very similar to that climate. In fact, I was in Seminole County just last week. My daughter goes to school. So yeah, these seeds will be planted here. I'll put 5 of them in. Pick some good looking ones. And I just drop them in an inch deep hole. You don't even have to make the hole, you can just kind of push them in just like that. Yeah, that ought to do. And what we'll do, just like last year, is we'll get several of these up and growing, and we'll trim it down to maybe 2 or 3 strong vines, and hopefully these will grow out and fill this area and root along the path that they grow on where they touch the ground, and that will help them to be resistant to vine borers. If the vine borers come and destroy part of the vine, it's got roots along it and the other nodes, and hopefully it'll be able to survive an attack. I'm also planting earlier this year because last year I think I was too late, and that's why the borers came in with such vehemency. It was hot. It was too hot. So hopefully we'll be able to get some pumpkins out of these this year. Same pit, same technique, same everything. Round 2. Second little hill over here. It's in the shade now, but in a month this will be a very sunny spot. So I'm going to put 5 seeds on this hill too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say put 6. You know what? Let's put 7 and we'll thin. There we go. We're now planted with Seminole pumpkins. I'm going to water these in. I'm going to put the anti-corgi fence up, and we're done. The idea of a pumpkin pit goes back to the Native Americans, and you've probably heard the story, as we were all taught in the state schools, that when the Pilgrims came over, the thing that really helped them was they were trained on how to grow things by the Native Americans. And they would dig a hole, put some fish down in that hole, and plant their corn and their squash and their beans on top of that pit, and that material there would compost in place. Well, that's what we're doing here. We're putting high nitrogen materials, meat, cheese, you know, anything you want down in that hole where it's not going to be dug up, and there you go, you got a pumpkin pit, and your pumpkins will really appreciate it. What kinds of things should you use in a pumpkin pit? After all, this is composting in place, and most people are a little squeamish about putting things in their compost like meat, like ice cream, like cheese, like you know, phone books, but you could put all that stuff in compost. Meat is basically nitrogen. It's got all kinds of good trace elements and minerals in it. You could put all kinds of nastiness in your compost pile, and when you're burying it deeply, and it'll break down. And so what we're doing here is showing you some of the stuff we've put in our pumpkin pits over the years. All this goodness, including a dead rat. Don't be afraid to compost. Okay, so now we have these cucurbita mochatas, these Seminole pumpkins, planted in our hills over there. We did the same thing last year using the same 2 pits, and we used the same method, and it works great, man. Once those roots get down there and found all that goodness, they exploded into lush, beautiful green growth, and there's nothing more beautiful than a pumpkin vine, in my opinion. So these Seminole pumpkins, though, are cucurbita mochatas. Last year I had cucurbita maximas here, which are a little more delicate and not necessarily the best for the heat. Being that these are from Florida, they were grown by the Seminole Indians in a similar climate as this, I have high hopes for them that they'll be vine borer resistant, and also that they will root along the course of their vine, and also that they'll be more heat resistant. We'll see. Thanks for joining us on Black Gumbo Southern Gardening. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. That really encourages us, and it helps us, and makes us do things like this, like dig holes in our yard and throw compost in it and plant stuff. So like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. Happy gardening to you. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.